In the ancient forest of whispering pines, where trees remembered stories older than kingdoms, there lived a crow named Kael. Unlike his brothers, who were content with shiny trinkets and clever tricks, Kael hungered for something more: wisdom. Every morning, Kael watched the owls in their high hollows. They spoke of moonlit philosophies and star-guided truths. They discussed the mathematics of falling leaves and the poetry of changing seasons. And Kael listened, perched silently in nearby branches, absorbing every word. One evening, as the eldest owl, Orion, taught his students about the balance of truth, Kael had an idea. Not an honest idea, but a clever one. While the owls slept during daylight, Kael crept into their library, a hollow filled with scrolls of bark and feathers dipped in berry ink. He stole not objects, but words. He memorized entire passages about courage, copied diagrams about justice, and imitated the owl's solemn way of speaking. Then he returned to the crow community and began holding his own wisdom sessions. At first, the crows were amazed. "Our brother speaks like an owl," they cawed. "He understands the deep mysteries." Kael basked in their admiration. He taught them stolen lessons about honesty while being fundamentally dishonest. He spoke of integrity while practicing deception. The irony was lost on everyone, including Kael himself. The crows began changing. They stopped their playful games. They looked down on other birds. They spoke in complicated phrases they didn't fully understand. The forest, once filled with their joyful cawing, grew strangely silent except for Kael's wisdom sessions. One young crow, Cora, approached Kael after a lesson on the transparency of being. "Kael," she asked timidly, "yesterday you said truth should be simple as water. Today you said truth is complex as roots. Which is true?" Kael ruffled his feathers defensively. "Both, little one. You're not listening deeply enough." But Cora had listened deeply, and she noticed something. Kael's wisdom had no roots. It was all leaves, beautiful, impressive leaves that wilted when examined closely. Meanwhile, the owls noticed their teachings spreading through the forest in distorted forms. Orion, with eyes that saw through darkness, understood what had happened, but instead of anger, he felt sadness. One moonless night, Orion flew to the crow roost. The crows panicked. Owls were predators after all. But Orion spoke gently. "I've come not for conflict, but clarification. Your teacher speaks my words. Let him speak his own." All eyes turned to Kael. His stolen wisdom dried up in his throat. The words that flowed so easily now felt like stones. Silence stretched through the roost. Then Kael did something unexpected. He told the truth. "I stole," he admitted, voice small. "I wanted wisdom so badly I took yours instead of earning my own." The crows gasped. Cora looked heartbroken, but Orion nodded slowly. "Theft is one crime, but greater is this. You taught honesty while being dishonest. You gave water from a poisoned well." Kael hung his head. The admiration he'd craved now felt like chains. "What should I do?" he whispered. "Return what you stole," Orion said. "Then discover what you truly know, not what you've borrowed." The next day, Kael began the painful process. He stood before the crow community and retracted every stolen lesson. He'd say, "I don't actually understand this," or "This was Orion's wisdom, not mine." At first, the crows were angry. They felt betrayed. But something interesting happened. As Kael's false wisdom disappeared, space opened for real understanding to grow. Cora began asking simple questions. Why do leaves fall? How do we know right from wrong? and Kael, humbled, began answering from his actual experience rather than stolen knowledge. Wisdom isn't something you can steal, copy, or pretend to possess. Real wisdom grows from honest experience, from failures owned, from truths lived rather than performed. Kael's story teaches us that honesty isn't just about not lying to others, it's about not lying to yourself. It's about having the courage to say, "I don't know," instead of pretending. It's about valuing your own small truth over someone else's grand falsehood. Because when you build your identity on borrowed wisdom, you'll always fear the owner will come asking it back. If Kael's journey from stolen wisdom to honest learning resonated with you, subscribe to Life Lessons for more stories about authenticity and growth. Click the bell to join our flock of truth seekers. In the comments, share, when have you been tempted to pretend instead of being real? Your honesty might give others courage.